Rasta, or Rastafari, is a spiritual movement that started among working-class black people in Jamaica in the early 1930s. Initiated by social and political aspirations and the teachings of the prophet Marcus Garvey, a publicist and organizer whose political and cultural vision helped inspire a new worldview. Joining me in studio to tell us more is Edmond Jerome Vassell, who himself is a Rastafari and the chief editor of the online magazine iblack.ca. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me.
Perhaps we could start by talking about the word. Many people tend to refer to it as Rastafarianism. Perhaps you could explain how people should correctly refer to the Rastafari movement.
Well, that is a very important starting point, because it has been misunderstood in this way. Rastafari is the name of a man. Rastafari is also the name of God, because it is written, I shall choose a new name, and my people shall be called by my name. So since it is the name of a man, and not a place nor thing, it is silly to say Farian, right? So therefore, the name in itself must be as it is, Rastafari.
Tell me more about the man, Haile Selassie Jah Rastafari, who, as you say, both a man and a god, and the leader of this movement. Tell me more historically and personally how you see him.
Well, personally, how I see him, to start on a personal level, is as a fulfillment of the covenant of David. Now, the movement or the understanding of Rastafari himself as being man is that he is the 225th descendant of the line of Solomon and Sheba, which is the branch of David, of the stem of Jesse, coming through prophecy. To understand how this covenant started, or this blessing, it starts with Jacob, Israel himself, giving a blessing unto his son Judah, which state that the lawgiver, nor the scepter shall not depart from between his feet, or upon the throne, so to speak. Well, in that aspect, we follow that line coming down through time. The first king out of Judah's line is David. So it all begins with David. And the covenant is quite clear, coming down onto Shiloh. Now, it is factual that this man, Haile Selassie I, is the last king of the line of Judah to sit upon the throne anywhere in the world. That bringing the prophecy and the covenant to a close as Shiloh himself, the mighty God, the everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace, which in fact, these are all titles he himself has gained upon the earth.
Interesting. Now, tell me more about this rod that you have that you carry.
Well, this rod is a unity rod. Jacob, Judah, and Israel, you are one. Meaning that out of the names of the Most High, the blessed names, which was Jacob, Judah, and Israel, these represent 3 tribes. But these 3 tribes also represent the identity and the nativity of all Rastafari, or all the tribes of Israel, so to speak, because all 3 are invested in these.
Now, also, another question I wanted to ask was the dreadlocks and the role that dreadlocks play in terms of the Rasta practice. You mentioned that it's a covenant. I'm curious to know the role that dreadlocks play, but also how you feel about non-Rastafari people wearing dreadlocks and how the Rastafari community relates to that.
Thank you. First of all, to understand the locks on my head, it is a rope of hair, and it begins with a vow. It's a vow of what many people call the Nazarite vow. But the word Nazar and right is 2 different words. Nazar is the name of the holy people. Right is the ritual that we practice. Now, this covenant of a rope of hair was given to us by God to have no king but God. So of all the holies of holies, this is the most holiest that we know of in historical facts, given but to God, by God to man. Now, as to say, how does it feel when other people wear it? Well, I find it to be insulting. I find it to be disrespectful. I also find it to be lack of understanding with ignorance. In this way, I don't see people go around and disrespect other people's faith. And by you or anyone else who so locks their hair and not practicing according to the way of Rastafari is giving us a bad name. Because no one sees you and say, well, you are not that person. They see the perception. A rope of hair, so you're Rasta people. So everybody that locks their hair and do whatever they wish to do, the backlash is to us. And as true Rastafari, our light has been diminished.
I'm also curious about the role of music in the Rastafari tradition. Can you tell me more in terms of its use, both ritually, but also in terms of communicating to others the goals and beliefs of Rasta?
Yeah. Well, music is a transcended way by which the communication or giving praise unto God is done in many religions, not just Rastafari. We lift our voice in praises unto the Most High God, right? So it's the same format. Right, what our music does is a music of teaching, prophecy, holds our identity, holds our ethnicity, holds our roots, our culture, and our total fiber of structure. Right? So as everybody else does, giving praises unto the Most High, we also do. And we also tell the story through the music. And this is how it comes down.
One of the stories you often hear in the music, one of the notions, is that of the word Babylon and the notion of Babylon within Rasta culture. Very briefly, can you perhaps describe what Babylon is and the sort of the image it represents for Rastas?
Right. Babylon the Great represents the empire of, should I say, the evil empire. It doesn't just hold that for Rastafari people, but it's also transcended in the Bible. Remember, Babylon the Great, mother of harlot, is in Revelation. So it's the same meaning. The thing with Rastafari people that many people fail to understand is that we are very deeply rooted, and our faith is also found in the Bible. You know, the Bible is a compilation of books. So we hold to the prophecy of the books. There's 3 books with the 3 groups of books. You have the Jewish story, which is basically Torah coming up to several points. And then you have the books of the prophets, which are the older people such as Isaiah to Malachi. And then you have the New Testament, which is the European writing of after Christ. Right? So the book is clearly defined. We hold more to what we call the prophecies, because these men are known not just by us, but acknowledged by the world and those people that also follow similar faith as to be real chosen people of God.
We'll have to continue the discussion in a moment. We've been speaking with Edmond Jerome Vassell, a Rastafari and chief editor of iblack.ca. We'll be right back after this short break. You're watching 3D Dialogue.
Call the Rogers Television Viewer Response Line at 1-800-939-7787 or visit our website with your comments.